Another major event? The nighttime sky in Qinghai suddenly brightens as if it were daytime. Out of control? The CCP suddenly initiates the November national population census. The life of a gambling tycoon, from patriotic businessman to Beijing's elimination target. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Another major event? The nighttime sky in Qinghai suddenly brightens as if it were daytime. On the evening of October 8th, a video from a residential system in Qinghai, China, captured an event in which, around 2:40 a.m. on the 8th, the once dark sky was suddenly illuminated by a brilliant light, temporarily transforming the entire sky into daylight before returning to darkness. This phenomenon sparked active discussions among internet users, who debated whether it might be a pre-earthquake sign or a sign of something significant occurring in China. Some netizens wondered if it could be related to UFOs, while others suggested it might be linked to a meteor. Some individuals also recalled a similar phenomenon occurring on January 8, 2022, when Menyuan County experienced a 6.9 magnitude earthquake, and they speculated that this light might be an early warning sign of an earthquake. In response, on October 11, a staff member from the Qinghai Provincial Meteorological Bureau emphasized that their bureau had not observed such an event on that day, and no anomalies were detected. They indicated that this phenomenon was not directly related to meteorology. However, mainland internet users remain skeptical. Some even ventured to speculate that this could be a harbinger of major events in China during the latter part of the year. This uncertainty has left them feeling uneasy, with a shared hope for everyone's safety. Indeed, mainland China has witnessed various unusual occurrences recently. For instance, after severe flooding in various parts of China in August, a 5.5 magnitude earthquake suddenly struck Pingyuan County in Shandong on October 6, accompanied by an eerie red light in the sky before and after the earthquake. Additionally, flocks of swallows were observed flying through the streets of Hunan, and even residents in Jiangsu managed to capture images of earthquake clouds. Out of control? The CCP suddenly initiates the November national population census. In more detail, in January of this year, China officially revealed that the population for 2022 had experienced its first negative growth in nearly 6 decades, signaling the end of the population dividend. Simultaneously, despite the Chinese authorities' efforts to boost the birth rate through financial incentives for childbirth and improvements in childcare facilities, the birth rate in China has continued to decline significantly. On October 10, the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, made an unexpected move by instructing the National Bureau of Statistics to carry out a population survey in China. The goal is to accurately and promptly monitor and reflect changes in our country's population development. This action has sparked inquiries from the international community about whether the CCP is apprehensive due to significant population losses during the pandemic and its incapacity to precisely evaluate the situation. According to Reuters, the last national population census in China was carried out in November 2020, revealing the slowest growth rate since the first modern population survey in the 1950s and the first population decline since the Great Famine of 1959 to 1961. The birth rate was only 6.77 per thousand. As per Wang Haidong, the director of the Elderly Division at the National Health Commission of China, it is anticipated that during the 14th five-year plan period spanning from 2021 to 2025, the total population of individuals aged 60 and above in China will exceed 300 million, constituting more than 20% of the population, ushering the nation into a phase of moderate aging. By around 2035, the population of individuals aged 60 and above will surpass 400 million, accounting for over 30% of the overall population, marking the commencement of a stage of severe aging. Notably, billionaire Elon Musk, who owns a Tesla superfactory in Shanghai, issued a warning via Twitter in June of the previous year, suggesting that each generation in China would witness a 40% reduction in population, characterizing it as a population collapse. Population expert Yi Fuxian, residing in the United States, was even more forthright, stating, even if China does not implement the one-child policy, the birth rate will naturally decrease. China's birth rate fell below the replacement level in 1991, and at the very least, the one-child policy should have been discontinued by then. However, mainstream population experts and family planning officials repeatedly manipulated population data, concealing the truth and delaying policy adjustments. He estimated that official Chinese data indicated a 2021 birth rate of only 1.1, but in reality, it falls between Taiwan, 0.92, and South Korea, 0.81, with the next generation being 60% smaller than the previous one, akin to a population avalanche. Moreover, with the prolonged 3-year-plus duration of the COVID-19 pandemic, a considerable number of individuals have seemingly vanished from official Chinese data. This string of occurrences has inevitably sparked external inquiries, and the Chinese authorities themselves appear to be concerned due to significant population losses, the lack of precise information, necessitating another population census. The life of a gambling tycoon, from patriotic businessman to Beijing's elimination target. Shi Zhejiang, a Chinese Cambodian and developer of Burma's Utai New City, is facing extradition to China. Mr. Shi is fighting against the extradition request to be sent to China because in January 2017 he obtained Cambodian citizenship and is no longer a Chinese citizen. He said that if he dies, it would be due to actions by the Chinese state security and Thai intelligence services. A close friend, who wishes to remain anonymous out of fear of Beijing's reprisal, spoke on behalf of Mr. Shi out of concern for his well-being. The friend said that Mr. Shi has become another victim of the Chinese Communist Party's CCP infiltration operations on foreign soil. Beijing often recruits overseas Chinese businessmen in the name of patriotism, but then destroys them after their job for the regime is complete. He expressed grave concerns for Mr. Shi's life following the regime's all-out effort to defame the businessman. The friend provided a video from Mr. Shi regarding his personal statement that he's not suicidal dated September 20th, and another video from an inmate who called for public attention to Mr. Shi who Beijing allegedly wants dead. The inmate, Wang Fuguwei, described in the video at least one incident when violence broke out in Mr. Shi's prison, which the pair believe was targeted at Mr. Shi, who luckily went unharmed because he was in a meeting with his lawyer to appeal the extradition. Mr. Wang said, "He told me that he really regretted accepting CCP's recruitment in 2017, naively buying into the CCP's claim that his role would be serving as a patriotic businessman." The recruitment. Accepting the CCP's recruitment means for an individual to work as Beijing's agent. According to a report from a U.S. congressional hearing on cases of Chinese espionage in 2016, business people at home and abroad also are used as case officers, collaborators, and principal agents who develop spy networks themselves. As a common practice, overseas Chinese chambers of commerce often serve as CCP spy hubs that house recruited expatriates, who are often successful overseas Chinese businessmen. Mr. Shi's acceptance of Beijing's recruitment immediately won him publicity among mainland Chinese. In the July 2019 signing ceremony of a cooperation agreement in Beijing between Mr. Shi and the China Center for International Economic Exchange, CCIE, Mr. Shi was introduced as a successful expatriate entrepreneur, philanthropist, and a leader of the Overseas Chamber of Commerce joining the construction of the China-Thailand-Myanmar Economic Corridor. From patriot to hypocrite. Mr. Shi, born in 1982 in a peasant family in Hunan Province, explored his opportunities in the Philippines in his early 20s. He started his career in casinos and became one of the shareholders of Hentaing Casino in the Philippines. According to his friend, Mr. Shi's success, charity work, and popularity amongst Chinese Filipinos were what initially drew the attention of Beijing's national security sector. His friend said, Mr. Shi's first task was from Beijing's agent Ma Dongli, who persuaded him to join the CCP's overseas strategy and to acquire a large lot of land from the Burmese government. Subsequently, he acquired 120 square kilometers of land in Shikoku Valley, where Utai International is located. In 2017, Mr. Xi invested $15 billion to develop Utai New City. The friend said Utai New City was also built with funds and technology of the CCP's central enterprises, such as China Railway 20th Bureau, China National Real Estate Development Group, and Xi'an Construction Engineering Group. Their chairman and party committee secretaries, i.e., CCP loyalists, have all since made appearances in Utai New City. The CCP agent Mr. Ma became the executive director of Utai International. Beijing also arranged for another high official, general manager of Xi'an Construction Engineering Zhao Hongbing, to serve as the chief supervisor of the board of directors to Utai International, the friend said. However, quickly Beijing changed its tone and dubbed Mr. Xi as a two-faced hypocrite, a criminal under the disguise of a philanthropist. Mr. Xi's friend explained that Mr. Xi's close personal relationship with the local military government was impeding Beijing's effort to control the city. Beijing's powerful propaganda machine launched its routine defamation and smearing to ruin Mr. Xi's reputation by linking his business to one of the many notorious crime havens in Southeast Asia, KK Park. Beijing's misuse of Interpol. On August 10, 2022, Thai police arrested Mr. Xi in a Japanese restaurant in the suburbs of Bangkok on an Interpol arrest warrant issued in May 2021, with the crime of running illegal online gambling operations. It's important to note, however, that Beijing has a history of misusing the Interpol system to hunt down political enemies using trumped-up charges. In a 2021 investigative report, Pursued for Life, NGO Safeguard Defenders documented how Beijing misuses Interpol in the persecution of political and thought crimes and noted well-known failures of Interpol to properly vet and review requested red notices. The report presented data on how Chinese authorities use and misuse Interpol tools such as red notices, and Interpol's rapid expansion over the last 2 decades, which has seen the use of red notices increase tenfold, and diffusions, an informal alert, 5-fold. The friend said they believe the operation against Mr. Xi was done for political purposes with the arrangement of Beijing's national security sector. When the split began. According to his friend, Beijing wanted Mr. Xi to relocate to Taiwan for development. That's when Mr. Xi became aware of Beijing's intention to remove him and started to distance himself from Beijing. The friend said, if Xi Jinping leaves for Taiwan, the CCP will take over Utai New City. This is the starting point of their conflict. He has personally invested more than $10 billion. Of course he would not let go. In a media Q&A in July 2020, Utai International was doing damage control and working to distance itself from the BRI. The company claimed at the time, "We would like to state that we distance ourselves from BRI, and have received no official endorsement from the Chinese government." In August 2020, the Chinese embassy in Burma issued a press statement officially stating that the Utai New City was a third country investment and has nothing to do with the Belt and Road Initiative. The underworld of national security. Mr. Xi solemnly declared in a video and a statement, "First of all, I am not the owner of KK Park, and I have nothing to do with KK Park. I have never run a fraudulent company." KK Park, one of the most notorious scam parks in Burma's Mayawati, has recently drawn much international attention over multiple victims, including Hong Kongers and Taiwanese, who allegedly were trafficked and imprisoned in the complex, a hub of the booming telecom fraud industry in Burma. The friend explained that Utai New City is located in Shikoku, around 12.5 miles north of Mayawati. It has a separate administration from Mayawati. He said that Shikoku is governed by Karen Border Guard Force, BGF, Chief Colonel Sachit Thursday, and Mayawati is ruled by Major Sa Tin Win. Both families call themselves the Karen Border Guards, but they do not interfere with each other's operations. The friend said that BRI projects develop along 2 tracks. The first track are official BRI projects, such as high-speed rail, highway, and other projects occupied by the CCP's Red families and their interest groups of Patriot China, Sinopec, China Railway Group, and so forth. The other track are underworld syndicates associated with the national security sector who engage in illegal activity, from online casinos and cyber scams to human trafficking and money laundering. According to the friend, Duan Jingli is the general agent of Beijing's national security in Burma. I was told he went to KK Park just this September to collect commissions. It's not clear if he will send the money to Beijing. But he's closely connected to KK Park. The friend said, to monitor and control Mr. Shi, Duan was the third agent arranged by the CCP to be stationed at Utai International. Utai New City. Fu Yifeng, a 27-year-old Chinese from Shandong, China, was granted United Nations refugee status in Thailand this May. In early September, Mr. Fu made a 10-day trip to Utai New City. He rode a motorbike and spent 4 days touring the entire city. Mr. Fu said, there were security personnel patrolling the streets and alleys of the entire city and at every intersection, almost all day long at any corner. Another detail is that there are free drinking fountains every few hundred meters on the city's roads and sidewalks. He described Utai New City development as well organized, and not what Beijing's media had reported to the Chinese public. Attacked by Beijing. Mr. He is the interim director of Utai International after Mr. Shi's arrest. To protect his identity, Mr. He's first name was not provided. He said the various projects in the city have continued, but definitely at a much slower pace since Mr. Shi's arrest. Utai International is engaging in developing animal husbandry, aquaculture, and agriculture in Utai New City, i.e., the overall urban planning that has been in Mr. Shi's mind. According to Mr. He, only Mr. Shi has the detailed blueprint of the city, and no one else can replace his status in building the city. Mr. He said, we have had a good relationship with the local military government, but the CCP is suppressing us. The friend previously revealed that Mr. Shi's good terms with BGF Chief Colonel Chit Thursday has granted him a security force of 5,000 people in Utai New City. The friend said, this is finally the main reason why the CCP wanted to get rid of him because he's influential, he is rich, and he has the land, and army, and won't be easy to control. Utai International's public accounts on Chinese social media WeChat and Douyin were shut down, and its official website hacked. According to Mr. He, the company is now trying to rebuild a website that won't be jeopardized by the online hacks. He emphasized that the online smearing of Mr. Shi was baseless. Gambling has existed in the area for a long time. We came here to do urban development, only locals know the many jobs we bring to the local area, which was originally a barren, wild, and deserted area. He stated, Mr. Shi's gambling business in the Philippines had a formal legal gambling license. As for Beijing's agents arranged in Utai International, Mr. Duan, Mr. Zhao, and Mr. Ma all disappeared after Mr. Shi's arrest, Mr. He confirmed. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths, and thank you for tuning in.